Hey, Fidelity. What's it cost to invest with the Fidelity app?
Start with as little as $1 with no account fees or trade commissions on U.S. stocks and ETFs.
That's music to my ears.
I can only talk.
Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Zero account fees apply to retail brokerage accounts only. Sell order assessment fee not included. A limited number of ETFs are subject to a transaction-based service fee of $100. See full list at fidelity.com/commissions. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Anyone can make like a pretty good sandwich, but to make an excellent sandwich, that requires some dedication to the craft. So today on CityCast Las Vegas, writer and artist Brent Holmes and I talk about where to find the best banh mi's, cheesesteaks, and classic deli sandwiches all about town. And yes, we will discuss Elvis's favorite sandwich. It's Thursday, March 13th. I'm Sarah Lohman, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. Brent, you're a sandwich man. Would you say that's true?
Yes, I am. I'm a great lover of sandwiches. I think they are one of the better culinary inventions that humanity's ever come up with. Both convenient, delicious, and simple when done right. And they allow for extravagance if you really want to get into it. All of which I think says something about the quality of a food.
And you know, I'm a big food history myth buster because often mistruths are repeated again and again. But the Earl of Sandwich was an actual British lord who at least lent his name to the sandwich. He was a big late night gambler. And so he would order meat and cheese between bread. And his friends started being yeah, give me one of them sandwiches.
Yeah, I also think that maybe we, this is a colonial issue really, but we give the Earl of Sandwich the name, but realistically, I think human beings had been making sandwiches for centuries before that guy got around to feeding himself during his gambling addiction.
I mean, breads have existed longer than plates. That's for sure. Breads have been plates for a long time, which in a sense we could say is what a sandwich is. Open-faced sandwich is a bread plate.
Absolutely. It's a bread plate.
Do you have a favorite sandwich in all of Las Vegas?
Oh, God. Favorite sandwich in all of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, Las Vegas and sandwiches, I am a Chinatown hound, and so it's got to be banh mi. It's got to be banh mi. We do really great banh mi here. I've had multiple banh mi's in France. I came back home to Las Vegas and enjoyed the ones we make here more. That's no rag on one of the cultures that helped invent the banh mi, but I just think our city has a little extra pizzazz. If we're going with favorite banh mi in town, one is over at a really tiny sweet shop on Las Vegas Boulevard called Lost Sweets. And they make an enormous banh mi, which is more than I usually am willing to spend on banh mi. It's about $16, but it's twice the size of your average banh mi. So it's almost like getting two sandwiches. And what really brings it home is they use, yeah, exactly. Just cut it in half. What really brings it home is they use, great deli meats and pickled vegetables and everything, but the pate is made in-house. And it's excellent by any standard.
Is a banh mi your favorite category of sandwich?
Right now, yeah. I mean, I go through phases like we all do. I'm not going to definitively say I'm a banh mi man today. I might be a Reuben guy tomorrow.
Okay, but I'm always a grilled cheese gal. So do you have a best grilled cheese in town for me? And I will say I do not like when the bread is too scratchy.
No, I don't have a best grilled cheese in town. Do you have a best grilled cheese in town? Because I'm not a grilled cheese aficionado.
I mean, I sometimes feel like the best grilled cheese is white bread at home, American cheese, mustard. Can anything top that for real?
No, I tend to be aligned with you in that, and that's why I can't give you a best grilled cheese in town. The best grilled cheese in town is the one you make on your skillet.
All right, so let's hit on a couple other categories. We've got a best banh mi, best grilled cheese is at our house. What about where's your favorite cold deli slices sandwich spot?
For cold deli slices, I love Bronx Cafe. I think they do a really, really good deli-style sandwiches. They pile the deli meat high, which is what I want. I don't want 2-3 slices of ham or capicola or whatever it is. I need it thick, dense. My favorite warm deli sandwich would be the Reuben. It is open face over at Weiss's in Henderson.
Weiss's,
And
classic.
yeah, and I think that they just as a man that grew up in New Jersey and in and around quite a bit of Jewish culture over the course of my life, the Weiss's Reuben really does get to the point as best you can on the West Coast. I will always abdicate to East Coast Reubens at the end of the day.
You know, I actually just was in the homeland over the weekend. I was in New York City. And of course, I availed myself of a bacon, egg, and cheese. So where's the best Beck in Las Vegas?
Bacon, egg, and cheese. Weiss's also does a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese, which is outside of like the tri-state area of New Jersey,
Rare.
New York, and Pennsylvania. Like you can't even find that thing most places. So that's a pretty special sandwich. I also really like I love a bagel sandwich. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
With the eggs. I love a bagel sandwich with lox, the cream cheese, that kind of thing. That's a breakfast sandwich to me. I'll take a lox sandwich any day of the week, and I'll go over to the Bagel Cafe for that. If I'm going quick and hard, you know.
Walking into Bagel Cafe is for real you're briefly stepping into Long Island. It's a pretty incredible place, I have to say.
It is, yeah, it is.
Let's move slightly further inland. What about a good Philly cheesesteak? You know what? One of our co-pods, CityCast Philly, their host Trinae actually did like a huge cheesesteak project. She had as many as she possibly could and like ranked them. I wonder if we have anything that could compete with Philly's best.
I mean, the short answer is no. Philly cheesesteak is really a product of the beauty and grit of Philadelphia. But that said, I go for Pops. They're 24 hours.
God, yeah.
You drive up. The griddle's right there. It's a thing of beauty. It's a joy forever. You know, and they do it. They use the whiz. They have all the kind of like Philly affects,
creamy,
all the
cheesy.
snack foods. Yeah,
they do a veg version too. You can get an all veggie one.
Oh yeah. And I still think Pops is my standard for Philly cheesesteaks in the Valley. If somebody out there would like to argue with me, I'd love it if you take me for more Philly cheesesteaks.
Yeah. Actually, David Figler, co-host, took me to Pops for Philly cheesesteaks on the day we did our dive bar crawl, our 5 oldest bars in Vegas, because it's like catty corner to Decatur Lounge. So you can get your cheesesteaks and walk right over to Decatur and get yourself a beer.
Yeah.
What about a Cuban sandwich? I haven't had a good one out here, I feel.
I think, and I might catch flack for this, but I think Cubano Express does a really good job. They're a little like fast foodie in that they really are a rapid fire joint, but they make a solid Cuban sandwich, just pretty standard. The bread's buttery, the ham's great, the Swiss and the mustard are there, and then we got the pickles and the roast pork. It's really kind of a wonderful, easy access Cuban. You can go to a lot of good Cuban restaurants, and there are plenty of those around the Valley that will serve a decent Cuban sandwich. I've heard there is a food truck based on the movie Chef over at Park MGM that does Cuban sandwiches. I've yet to get over there, but I'd be willing to give it a shot to see if they're maybe a little closer to home.
So what about like New Orleans style cooking? Do we have any good po' boys?
So we're going to get into a economic argument here. I cannot pay $15 for a po' boy. And although there are some pretty great, mostly Black soul food kitchens in the Valley that make po' boys, they're all very expensive. And that runs counter to the name and also the purpose, which is a relatively inexpensive sandwich that is kind of loaded with calories.
Wait, I just thought of a concept because, of course, like a shrimp po' boy is a classic. Someone needs to invent a shrimp cocktail po' boy to exist here in Las Vegas.
That's you. You need to invent the shrimp cocktail po' boy. And
I give that idea out to the world. Just call it like the Sarah Lohman, you know?
The Lohman. Let me get a Lohman. Let me get a Sarah Lohman.
Let me get a Lohman, please. Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Prime Video. In the small town of Holland, Michigan, nothing is ever what it seems. Behind the tulip festivals and pretty houses lay dark secrets that threaten to tear a marriage apart. Nicole Kidman stars in this darkly twisted thriller about a wife and mother whose quest to uncover her husband's secrets may get her more than she bargained for. Holland, streaming on Prime Video March 27th.
Are your ulcerative colitis symptoms proving difficult to manage? Tremfya guselkumab can help you manage the cycle of UC symptoms. At 1 year, many patients taking Tremfya achieved clinical remission, and some patients also achieved endoscopic remission. Individual results may vary. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Ask your doctor if Tremfya can help you manage the cycle of UC symptoms. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Is there a sandwich that Vegas is known for that we do particularly well?
Oh, that's complicated. I mean, if we're talking about strip culture, and I'm gonna kind of lean over there, like the club sandwich is a sandwich we have done historically particularly well. Why? Because we have these in-house casino diners, and it's a very specific sandwich to that. And all of my favorite clubs I've ever had have been in Las Vegas, strangely.
Yeah, what are some of your favorites and why? What makes a perfect club?
You have to have structure. This is a stacked sandwich. There's a piece of bread on top, a piece of bread in the middle, and a piece of bread on the bottom. That's 3 pieces of bread. You don't want it to be too soggy. You need the cold cuts to be of a quality, whether you're doing ham and turkey or just ham. It's got to have crispy bacon. You don't want rubbery bacon.
That lettuce has got to be dry. Dry
lettuce has to be dry, because if it's too damp, you're going to end up with soggy bread. You're going to slides everywhere. The tomatoes spill out, and then you're miserable. And the people that my favorite one has for years, and this is since childhood, always come from the Golden Nuggets Deli. They're like little restaurant there in the Golden Nugget. Every time I'm in there, I just get a club sandwich. But I've been doing that since I started coming here in 1985.
This is helpful because I do always regard the in-house coffee shops as a little sketch. But I do feel safe ordering a turkey club. I trust them to do that well.
Yeah, and they do it excellently there over at the Golden Nugget. But most casinos can make a really solid club. It's a safe option. You might not want to go as far as the prime rib or some kind of soup. You never know what you're getting there. If they mess up a club, then they should know that they maybe need to throw in the towel, right? So it's a really good, kind of bellwether as to how standardized the rest of the operation is too.
So we can't talk about sandwiches in Vegas without talking about Capriati's, which is such a local favorite. Totally a chain I was not familiar with before I moved here, although they're not from Las Vegas. So what's your take on Capriati's, and how did they get so popular here?
So Capriati's, I do love them in their convenience, but I think the thing is they're a chain that landed here at the perfect time, before we had the food culture of even the 2010s, when things really started to explode and Vegas became more of a definitive food city. I think anybody could have filled the mid-range sub sandwich gap had they right but what we had Subway and Porter subs, and then Capriati's comes in, ups the game. The bread's a little better, the fillings are a little better, it's a little more creative, and that's what everybody gravitated towards. And I remember years from 2000 to 2005 where I could get a Capriati sandwich at any social event or any work function for half a decade, because that's just what people gravitated towards, and it's become part of the city. And if it wasn't from Delaware, I would say it's very much so ours, right?
Yeah. They also do the Thanksgiving special, right?
What, you talking about the Bobby?
Yeah, is that the one with the stuffing and the cranberry and everything?
Yeah, okay, so you're talking about the Bobby. I mean, the Bobby is honestly a brilliant sandwich invention, right? It gives you Thanksgiving all year round. It's kind of ridiculous in that sense, but if you find that your, Turkey Day after Turkey Day sandwich is the best sandwich you have all year, the Bobby's giving that to you every day of the week at your convenience. And it's kind of a stroke of genius, I have to be honest, and a pretty original invention.
We have done a previous episode with a Capriati's exec, and they talk at length about the Bobbies. Look that up, everybody, because it's basically an iconic Vegas sandwich at this point. But actually, speaking of, let's get a little more into Vegas sandwich lore. Elvis was known for loving a peanut butter, banana, and bacon sandwich. Brent, smash or pass?
Pass. I'm a hard pass on this one.
Really?
I know you might think I'm some kind of erratic wild man that would be attracted to such an abomination, but the truth of the matter is peanut butters and bananas are great. Bacon is fine. I don't need them in a sandwich, and I don't need them all together.
It's classic sweet and savory.
I listen, Sarah, I
Crispy,
don't know
crunchy,
why.
soft.
Yeah, but there's like the oiliness of bacon and the oiliness of peanut butter in tandem are such a turnoff to my mouth that I can't get through one of those things, to be genuine.
I've actually never tried one, but conceptually it seems okay to me.
Conceptually, it does seem okay, but structurally, mentally, I've tried to get through more than a couple of peanut butter and banana bacon sandwiches, and it's never really worked out for me. I've never been happy at the end of it.
Can we find one in Vegas? Where?
Yeah, there is one, at least one, at Favorite Bistro in the Link Promenade, and they've been doing it for a few years now. It is like $20 for something that you could probably make at home for much less money. But if you really want like the Vegas experience and to be out at a restaurant and eating kind of this weird Quaalude-induced concoction that Mr. Presley came up with, then you can go right ahead. Allegedly. No, Elvis did drugs, guys.
I never thought of myself really as a sandwich person until I read something on the internet that was like, you can always remember the best sandwich you've ever had. And that is 100% true for me. Even though a sandwich isn't the first thing I go for, I remember the best sandwich I've ever had. So, Brent, what is the best sandwich you've ever had?
Oh, Sarah Lohman. Give me the best sandwich I've ever had in Las Vegas or anywhere.
Vegas, preferably. That's why I didn't say mine, because mine is, it's also the context. I was in New York. I had friends visiting town. It was a sunny afternoon. We went to a bar restaurant that no longer exists called Rye House. And I had an in-season fried green tomato BLT. And it was the most perfect, delicious sandwich I have ever had before or since. R.I.P. Rye House.
Yeah, and again, like contextually, I would say the best sandwich, and might be controversial because, Sarah, is a pita a sandwich? Because I know them's fighting words, right? But my favorite sandwich is the falafel sandwich. That's the secret to my success. I love falafel more than anything. Yes. And my favorite was like 15 years old in Greenwich Village, going to like punk shows, and you go and you get a falafel sandwich with the vegetarian kids.
At Mahmoud's?
Yeah, dude. Like that's how you do it. That's the best sandwich I ever had.
Sorry, Vegas.
I'm sorry, Las Vegas.
I drank at Grassroots, that basement bar like right next door. So you go to Mahmoud's and you get yourself a falafel. It's the best falafel in the country.
In the country, like anywhere. And it's that to me is like it's still home. Like falafel sandwiches are my safe place. But is a pita a sandwich? Which is the answer is yes. But I'm sure there's people that want to have a fight about it.
Do you have a favorite falafel in the Valley? Not on St. Mark's Street?
Yeah, right now I'm deeply infatuated with Shawarma Paradise over on Decatur and Flamingo. They are, in my opinion, a little overpriced for falafel, but It's worth the money, man.
And that's not something I'm going to make at home. I will pay someone to make that for me. I'm not going to deep fry at home.
Yeah. No, you can bake. I will occasionally do like baked falafel, but like they really come out more like falafel cookies, and it's weird. But no, I'm not going to do that much frying at home. It's the same thing with like a good catfish sandwich, which you can get over at Mario's on the historic West Side. You can get a good catfish. You can get a good catfish sandwich all over MLK, guys. There's like 3 places, including like Grits Cafe. Get a good catfish sandwich, kids. It's really worth it. But that said, I'm not going to deep fry. So those are 2 that I'm always, falafel sandwiches, catfish sandwiches. I'm always going out to eat those if I want that in my mouth.
Okay, I got to say one of the other best sandwiches I've ever had was a catfish po' boy, like literally on the banks of the Mississippi in New Orleans, or in Louisiana. So I would like to experience that again. Brent, thanks so much. Thanks for all your sandwich knowledge.
Oh no, thank you, Sarah. I'm happy to distribute the love that is the sandwich to the rest of the valley.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Always a pleasure. That's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. If you enjoyed the show, send it to a friend and go eat a sandwich, everybody. You can also rate our show and leave us a review and subscribe to our morning newsletter on our website. And we'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Take care.
Next one I want to get into is, what is a dumpling?
Ooh.
What is it? Where is an empanada a dumpling? Is it?